She had woken to find Davey gone from their bed and found him sprawled under the kitchen table, deadly quiet in his concentration as he aimed his rifle at some unseen foe. Non had crawled under the table to him, and he had given her a look that chilled her heart and froze her tongue. She had crept away and left him. She knows that there is nothing to be done now except to leave him. But has she not just resolved that she will not be beaten by the mystery of what is happening to her husband? She knows that he betrayed her when he was away, and it pains her to think of it, but she senses— no, she knows. That is not what is haunting Davey through his nightmares. It is something else. Something that has to do with fighting the enemy. She draws a chair back from under the table, lifting it to stop it screeching on the flagstones, positions it so that she can see Davey, and sits on it. She smooths the tablecloth with the back of her hand. Like life, she thinks, smooth and rough, worn thin so that it is almost a hole in places, plush as if it were new in others. She is uncomfortable. She does not want to sit here on a kitchen chair to watch her husband fight the enemy all over again under the table, but believes she must if she is to understand what happened to him. This man on the floor is as unlike himself as possible. His hair and his clothes are dishevelled as he crawls around on the flagstones in the confined space. His eyes are wide open with the white showing all around, as if he is mad with fear, like a horse Non saw when she was a child. The farmer had shot the horse, said it had turned wild and dangerous. Non flinches. Each time Davey fires the rifle he imagines he has on his shoulder, the recoil sending him sprawling backwards. He is sweating profusely, his shirt already soaked under his arms and on his back, from whatever endeavours he thinks he is attempting. He mutters and calls out words and phrases Non cannot understand, which sound sometimes like commands, sometimes like entreaties. He shouts, "Down! Down!" and flings himself face down on the flags. She hears his face thump on the stone, and she cringes. "Oh, Davey," she whispers. Her Davey, the real Davey, is a small man and neat, and this was part of what she had loved about him from the first time she saw him. Small herself, she did not feel overpowered by him. He was far from being a moneyed man, but he had always made sure that the clothes he wore were clean, mended, and ironed. His hair that had a will of its own, springing up from his head in dark brown spikes, was always carefully brushed, and his moustache with its glints of red, neatly trimmed and combed. When she first met him, it was as if she had always known him, and yet it was his son she knew first. Will was in the infants class when she came as a student teacher to the local school, a sturdy and quieter boy at 5.5, as he is now at 15. She remembers being saddened that first winter when he seemed unmoved by the sudden death of his mother, from a cough that had turned rapidly to pneumonia. She had felt a greater sadness at some of the tales that came her way about Grace, tales of callousness and cruelty towards Will and his small sister. She looks down at Davey, lying flat now on the flagstones, his shoulders twitching as he sights down the length of his rifle, his forefinger squeezing on the trigger.